Hello everyone, we hope you all doing well today. Before we begin, we would like to respectfully greet Prof. Agung Butsdadi as the Lecturer of Operations Management. Today we will discuss about Chapter 6 on Managing Quality using a case study from an article on customer satisfaction in pharmaceutical services. The study we use is called Customer Satisfaction Toward Pharmaceutical Services in Community Pharmacies in Sukarame District. Before we continue, let me introduce our group first. Next, please. Okay, we are from group 2. My name is Hikaru Ian Ramadhan and I'm here with Rafi, Elbari, Syahputra, Muhammad Athalladithya, Rizky, Farhan Ar-Raziq, and Gita, Aulia, and Suryo Adie, Bagas, Indrawan. Next, we will explain the reasons behind our choice of this article. Next. Okay, we chose an article that focuses on customer satisfaction in pharmaceutical services, specifically in community pharmacies in Sukarame District. The article called Customer Satisfaction Toward Pharmaceutical Services in Pharmacies in Sukarame District. And why we choose this article? There's several reasons, and each of them is closely related to what we learned in Chapter 6 about managing quality. First, the article comes from Garuda, which is a credible academic database, and this is important because it means the study is based on a reliable source and can be used as a trust reference for analysis. The second, the article examines customer satisfaction as a way to measure service quality, and in Chapter 6, we learned that quality is not only about meeting internal standards, how a service meets customer expectation. And because of that, customer satisfaction becomes one of the most important indicators of quality, especially in service operations. And the third one, the article reflects the idea that quality is defined by customer perception. This is a key concept in managing quality because no matter how good the system is, if the customer feel dissatisfied, then the service cannot be considered high quality. So understanding customer perception become essential in evaluating and improving quality. And another is that the article shows a gap between expected and actual service performance. And this gap is very important in quality management because it helps identify where the service falls and to meet customer expectation. And in chapter 6, as we know, this kind of gap is often the main source of quality problems and it becomes the starting point for improvement. Lastly, the article provides a real case of managing quality in service operations, particularly in healthcare sector, and this makes the discussion more relevant because service quality is usually more difficult to manage compared to manufacturing interaction with customer and the variability in service delivery. So overall, these articles allows us to connect the concept in chapter 6 with a real example and understand how quality is actually experienced and evaluate in daily operations. Next, we will take a look at what the article discusses and why the study was conducted. Next.
On this slide, I will outline the what and what article. First, the what. What is the article about? So basically, this article studies patient satisfaction in community pharmacies, especially in Sukarame district. The focus is on the quality of pharmaceutical services, measured using five aspects: tangible, reliability, responsiveness, assurance, and empathy. So these five aspects help us to show whether the service already meets patient expectations or not. Next, the why. Why was the research conducted? The research first reason is to measure service quality from the patient's perspective. So it means the research looks at how patients feel about the service they receive, not just from the provider side. Number two, to identify gaps between expectations and actual service. So the research want to find out if there's any difference between what patients expect and what they actually experience in the pharmacy. Number three, to help pharmacists improve their service quality. So by knowing the weaknesses in their service, they can make improvements and provide better service in the future. And number four, to support better public health and patient well-being. Of course, better service quality can lead to higher patient satisfaction, which also contributes to improving overall community health. Next.
Moving on the scope of our research, let's look at the who and where to this study. This is critical to understanding the validity of our findings or service quality. First, regarding who the study was about, the researchers surveyed a total of 167 respondents. These participants were specifically adult patients, aged 18 and older, who had just received pharmaceutical services. This ensured that the feedback was based on real-time, first-hand interaction. It's also worth noting that factors like and frequency of visit were found to have a significant relationship with their certification levels. Next, regarding to where the study took place, the research was conducted across community pharmacies in the Sukarame district, located in Bandar Lampung, Indonesia. We select Sukarame because it is high density area with a very high ratio of pharmacies per capita. This competitive environment makes it the perfect location. Is managed when patients have multiple options to choose from.
Okay, we are ready to move to when and how. The first of all, this research was published in January 2019 in the first edition of the volume 2 of the Journal Pharmacy Mahalayati. While the exact date of data collect isn't explicitly studied, we can inform the reverse usage, particularly pharmacy mapping data from the Ministry of Health and Population Statistics. That the failure was uh, carried out sometimes around 2011 to 2018. So this is a very recent study that reflects the state of community pharmacy service in Indonesia in the late of 2010. The moving to second one, point to how. So for how the study was done, the research used a cross-sectional survey design, while they collect data from the 167 paintings across 50 parametric in Sukarame District. The paintings were approached as they come to the pharmacy, which is called a carrier sampling. To ensure certification, they gave out a questionnaire based on the Syahputra model, using a 4-point scale from the strong disagree to strongly agree. The questionnaire covered 5 dimensions. The first one is tangible, second one is reliability, the third one is responsibility, the fourth assurance, and the last one is empathy. Before using it, they made sure the questionnaire was valid and reliable. After collecting data, the analysis is using frequency distribution to see the overall statistic level, and the chi-square test to find out whether things like age, income, or number visiting had any connection to how stratified the pages were. The next one will be partners.
Okay, on the slide, I will explain the main findings of the article Consumer Satisfaction Level Towards Pharmaceutical Services in Community Pharmacies in Sukarame District. The study found that 58.08% of respondents, or 97 out of 167 patients, were not satisfied with the pharmacy services, while the other 41.92% of respondents were satisfied. This indicates that overall service quality had not fully met consumer expectation. Among the 5 service quality dimensions, the highest satisfaction was found in the empathy dimension at 87.83%. This means that patients appreciate the pharmacy staff's ability to provide drug information, understanding the complaints, and give attention to the consumer. Meanwhile, the lowest satisfaction was found in the reliability dimension at 83.16%. This was related to service speed, prescription timelines, and service consistency when delays occur. In conclusion, communication between staff and patient was relatively good, but service reliability still needs improvement in order to increase the customer satisfaction. Okay, next, we will explain the conclusion.
Okay, now I will present our group's interpretation of this case study, focusing on its relevance to Chapter 6, the managerial implications, and our final conclusion. First, why is this article highly relevant to Chapter 6 on managing quality? As we learned in our textbook, quality is defined by the customer, and this study uses the SERVQUAL model, which is a core total quality management tool mentioned in Chapter 6. By analyzing the 5 dimensions, which are tangibles, reliability, responsiveness, assurance, and empathy, we can see exactly where the service gap exists in Sukarame pharmacies. Second, looking at the managerial implications, the data shows a 58% dissatisfaction rate, and it's a big signal for pharmacy managers, which means they need to shift their paradigm from just being a drug seller to being a healthcare provider. And specifically, since reliability has a satisfaction score, managers must implement better staff training to improve service speed and accuracy. They also need to optimize their tangibles like the waiting room and pharmacy layout, because this directly affects patient perception. Lastly, our conclusion: although the pharmacists in Sukarame are doing a great job at empathy, meaning they provide good drug information, unfortunately it is not enough. The reliability and responsiveness are still the main bottlenecks, and to achieve true quality management, pharmacists must balance their clinical skills with operational efficiency. Next. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this presentation. We hope our explanation was clear and insightful. Thank you and goodbye.